Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. My name's AJ Young. I'm a comedian. Anyway, today I want to talk about Donald James Parker. Some of you may know him from viral TikToks or other media, I guess. But Donald James Parker is a relative newcomer to the world of writing, but he's making up for lost time. He's written 12 books in the last 5 years. However, the website I'm reading this directly off of looks like it hasn't been updated since 1996, so who knows how many he's up to at this point. So Donald James Parker, how do I put this politely? He's a hyper-Christian writer, a MAGA-supporting misogynist, and really just a fan of spewing religious nonsense at every opportunity possible.
In the end, godly wisdom is much more important than human knowledge and intelligence.
So today I decided I'm going to check out one of his films, a seminal film in his collection, one where he tries to destroy
Liberal, secular, humanist professors.
So we're going to risk conversion and stare into the ceaseless void of Christian propaganda that is Gramps Goes to College. Oh, and if you see this Donald James Parker, I don't know, man, do better, I guess. The first thing I noticed, maybe don't put graphics over an actor's name. Rusty Mart sounds like a knockoff 7-Eleven built next to a homeless camp. So this is my favorite part of the movie. The plot. This movie's so long it feels like it's been carved into stone, so I'm going to do my best to cut around and help Gramps sum up what the film is about. Take it away, DJP.
I'm free full time to work on what God wants me to do. I feel led to go back to college.
Oh, don't worry, laughing man lifting no weights. This only gets better.
I'm going to war. Those kids are being brainwashed by liberal, secular, humanist professors that I can at least touch a few lives if I stand up and speak the truth in love. Someone's going to grasp the concept that there really is a devil and he is working overtime to deceive us into all manners of destructive beliefs and behaviors.
The next scene, we have a mom and daughter arguing over alcohol abuse and driving under the influence. I'm going to skip this. I'm sure it won't come back later.
I'm looking for Hickerson Hall. This appears to be a girls' dormitory.
Oh, this is Hickerson. It's a co-ed dorm.
Co-ed?
So throughout this whole film, we're going to get Gramps doing this wild-eyed look, and I can't really stop and point out every time he does it because it's frequent. But, you'll catch it.
Is this for your grandson?
Excuse me? What's the matter? Don't you have any sexagenarians ever stay in his dorm?
You didn't have to say sexagenarian. Feels like sexagenarian is the kind of word you only learn once you become a sexagenarian. So Gramps drifts off like a ghost, and we're introduced to our next character. No, I'm just fucking around. This film is startlingly unsexy for a film that has about the same production value as a mid-90s porno. I just couldn't resist. So all of our characters finally start to meet. Drunko meets Blondo, and Gramps and Rusty Mart have been made roommates.
Well, I've been called an animal before. Never a party animal.
Yeah, actually, I'm not gonna touch that one. And so begins the most awkward year in Rusty Mart's life. Meanwhile, on a campus where everyone is a godless heathen.
Are you currently a student here?
Yes, sir, starting today.
Then I suggest you take Biology 100 from Professor Tucker. She'll coax this creationism from you.
So Gramps shows up to the most sparsely attended biology class. A class so sparsely attended, you almost wonder, how is it a class? Alright folks, so we've made it. The crux of the film. Biology versus Christianity. Good versus evil. Right versus wrong, I assume. The problem is both perspectives are written by the same person, so it just kind of comes out as gibberish, so enjoy this.
The fool has said in his heart that there is no God.
Are you calling me a fool?
I'm just merely quoting the Bible. I'll let everyone extrapolate from that.
Yet we always have a number of students who cling to the superstition. But by the time you finish my course, almost no one stands to confess this foolishness.
Where have I heard that before?
Yeah, we always have a number of students who cling to the superstition. But by the time you finish my course, almost no one stands to confess this foolishness. And I fully embrace the challenge of bringing light into your darkness.
Ditto.
And now my all-time favorite trope, alcoholics dunk harder on anyone than anyone on Earth.
I heard she was challenged by a student today old enough to know Charles Darwin.
Finally, after what feels like an eternity, we finally get something resembling an antagonist that isn't just broad science.
Hey, Steph.
And it's a school bully. Yay.
But I think you could be a manager for some lame team. I'm gonna get back to recruiting for all the studs are gone.
Kind of a weird way to phrase that, but, okay. So Gramps gets a lot of criticism for being misogynistic, as well as a litany of other problematic behaviors that he displays. Anyway, here's why.
I have a really good feeling about Brad. Stephanie, not so much. A double-minded woman is unstable in all her ways.
Then some computer nerds show up to ask Gramps about his ideology and biology. How is this related to computers, you ask? It's not, but Gramps is gonna try like hell to make them the exact same thing.
What organ in the human body is the most like a computer?
Well, that's a no-brainer. Pun intended. But no, it's the brain.
That tone shift was so intense it could be a jump scare.
Both the software and the hardware of the brain could materialize out of a bunch of cells going through a set of non-directed mutations. What good would a brain be if it's not connected to the central nervous system?
It would be like a computer with no input or output capability.
How did this organism survive without a brain?
I mean, you made it all the way to college without one, so can't be that hard, I imagine.
What came first? The blood or the brain? Or the lungs? The idea that they could develop individually and slowly yet come together to work together the way they do should be considered ridiculous, not science.
So this is all fascinating. Unless you've read a book on biology, in which case you'd recognize that this is all horseshit. And at best, he's grasping at straws as to what biology even is? But I digress. We're not here to watch him school students. We're here to watch him school teachers?
You got it.
So we get back to the biology club, because this certainly isn't a full class. We get
Round 2, fight.
I'm really having trouble getting a handle on this natural selection. Could you explain its properties to me? You know, size, weight, color. What's its chemical composition? Does it matter? Is it energy?
That's just the name of the process.
Pardon my French here, Professor, but it just seems to me that these textbook authors are trying to sell us a crock. And that crock ain't full of butter.
I'm in pain. So Gramps goes on a date with the teacher and has all the riz of a soggy hot dog.
Yippee! I win! There is no eternal life. Because you'll just be dust.
Meanwhile, Rusty Mart goes on a date with Drunko. But oh, who rears their head but the human stud finder?
Why don't we go somewhere private and talk about our past?
I'm with Brad now.
Are you serious? Yeah. Thought you wanted a man.
I know I've been editing around quite a bit, but to be clear, the only character who's established that they're looking for men in any way is you.
This guy doesn't even drink. Of course I do. Come on, Stephanie. Let's go check out that bourbon. You better not be mixing that bourbon with lemonade or something like that, wimp.
What? So Rusty Mart stumbles home and ends up having to stay up later talking about it to a sexagenarian.
You know, a pretty woman can entice a man into trouble that oxen couldn't drag him into?
I mean, I warned you about this. The dude's relentless. So our bully character sidles up to a piece of paper to attempt to give it a read. Only to walk away disappointed in himself again.
Oh, that's mature.
What do you know about maturity? Why don't you just call...
Ooh, the Christian classic. Silence your woman before she makes you look foolish.
Maturity. Why don't you just call...
So AJ, I hear the voices in my head ask me, how does this bully fit in with the greater narrative of science versus religion? And the short answer is, it doesn't. Gramps just really wants to show off his athletic acumen, and so the movie kind of pivots for upwards of 45 minutes to 2 days of the total runtime, just to show you how good he is at whatever sport he chooses to fit in. So I've decided I'm going to cut it down to its base elements, and you can just, in one go, see all the athletic-natured stuff. So, enjoy Gramps' athleticism.
Get set, go! That old man. We need to get rid of him. What if he was accused?
Oh God, accuse him of what? Oh God, accuse him of what? Oh God, accuse him of what?
Of buying alcohol from minors.
God damn, that was close.
I like the way you think.
So we're gonna get back to this accusation stuff in a minute. I just want to finish up with all this non sequitur sports stuff.
Jason and I are in opposite brackets. I won't face him until the finals, if we make it that far.
So in the language of filmmaking, you kind of want to create tension, create these actions that kind of move the story forward. But I think Gramps has done a really good job here in pushing the story in one of the simplest ways I've ever seen. So I present to you the entirety of the tournament and the finals with as little cutting as possible, so you can really see just the perfection that is this final tense arc to the sports narrative.
Strawberry shakes at Hardee's this time. Absolutely.
Ready whenever you are. I didn't need to warm up to beat you. Let's do this.
Yes! That's a set at 6-4. One down, one to go. Come on, Brad! Darn it! That's a set for Jace, 7-5. Brad, I can't watch. Yes, you can. Just do it. Come on, Brad.
Come on, Brad.
Come on.
Yes! He did it! Yes! All right, way to go, kiddo!
Just fantastic work. You never see Martin Scorsese or Quentin Tarantino put together an action scene entirely out of reaction shots and scoreboards. This is a masterclass in cinema right here. And if you can't tell, the sarcasm is making my brain boil in its skull.
You go to hell!
You go to heaven. Heaven. Jace, I'm going to be praying for you.
Don't waste your breath.
So when we return to the film we were watching, Gramps has another date with the teacher, only this time at her place. She pours him what I can only imagine is a glass of fruit punch out of a wine bottle, and then Gramps admits that he can't speak to a woman if she has cleavage. Classy.
Do you want me to look at you while we're talking?
Well, of course.
Then you have to cover up your charms.
Have you ever considered that maybe there really is a heaven and a hell, and that people like you are condemning young people to eternal punishment because of your teaching?
Oh, I promised myself I wouldn't do this. I don't know, Gramps. Have you ever considered that maybe it's your teachings that's telling young kids that they're gonna burn for an eternity for a finite life that was lived pursuing some kind of thought experiment, even if it is wrong? I mean, science doesn't teach you that you have an eternity of suffering coming to you if you don't read the right books. That's just your book. Ugh.
Hypothetical situation here. Suppose you and I are mathematicians, and we don't like the number 4, so we just remove it from the numbering system, okay? You with me? Mm-hmm. So then we go around and we ask people, what does 2 plus 2 equal? What's going to be their answer?
Well, if you've taken out the number 4, then they could never give you the right answer.
Exactly. That's what scientists do when they remove God from the equation, and then they try to explain the intricacies of the world. They take away the correct answer so no one can answer it right. And then they make up their own answers, and they force it down our throats.
So let me get this absolutely clear, Gramps. You don't like science because it removes God from the equation. Okay, so general relativity, God. Gravity, God. Atomic structures, quantum mechanics, the intricacies of the universe, you just want God as the answer? You don't think that exploring the mechanics, the mathematics, the ideas of how these things can and are around isn't interesting when you can just, for 1,000 million billion years of human existence, just God, God, God. It's only ever God, 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 God. God this time, God that time. That's insufferable. I just think that's such a fundamentally interesting intellectual argument to have. Why remove God from the equation? It should be the answer to everything. Really? Really? Reverse engineer this. What if the answer to every math equation was 6? 10 times 20. 6. 2 billion minus 4. 6. 8 plus 9. 6. But, like, what? What? This is just so Jesus-brained. Anyway, I promised I wouldn't do this, so...
Okay, so if you won't take advantage of me, then I'm gonna take advantage of you.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I hate to eat and run, but I'm out of here.
What? Nobody walks out on me!
I will get you next time. Next time.
So while Gramps is striking out like a Chad, our IT nerds, as they do, are getting the party started with a drinking contest.
Now tonight we're going to have a little bit of a drinking contest.
All right.
Anybody else? All right.
Our girl Drunko takes on the school bully and promptly dies.
Oh my god. She has no vital signs. What are you saying? I'm saying she's dead.
Why did you teach kids something useful in biology? Like how alcohol fries their brain cells even kills people?
You know, it's kind of hard to feel bad for you if you made it all the way to college without knowing alcohol poisoning is a thing. Don't really need a biology class to learn that.
Father God, Stephanie isn't ready to go yet. I command this body to be restored to life.
She's alive.
So the movie's going to chalk this up to the old miracle, but I think there's a better explanation. I think a first-year med student needs to go back to his CPR courses and get recertified. So the teacher begins to have a mental breakdown and forgets everything she's ever learned about biology, the universe, and the systems that allow it to exist. Because of course she does. Because she, and everyone else in this movie, was written by a creationist who doesn't know how any of this works.
The universe is comprised of matter and energy. Are these directions matter or energy?
Oh, I'm not going to go further in on that. I'm done. I'm officially done. I'm absolutely done. This is the end of the film. I'm not going to search up anything they say from here on out. I wash my hands of it.
We've been forced to expel you from this university. Expelled?
You know, that's a great title for a movie.
Some allegations came up that, well, sealed your fate.
So Gramps gets expelled, and he's cheered on by a crowd of people we've never seen before in the film. All in all, I'd say this has been a complete waste of time. If you ever feel you're being propagandized by radical Christian ideology, maybe read a book on biology. It might help.